McKissick's shot is short. Jacobs will push. ASU fills the paint. Jacobs had it tipped away by Holder and Jacobson.
This thing's going up and down, isn't it?
Blake's the run to the glass, laid it in.
Ship here and get them a bucket, and it's got to be Tyrone Wallace, their best player.
Steal by Jabari Bird, but then a lazy pass picked off. Gerry Blake to the basket. Singer attacks, goes at Jacobson and blocks the shot. Gerry Blake moves in, right to the basket for the layup. 6'7" sophomore from Texarkana for Colorado is Miller missing on the baseline, and it's the senior Bo Barnes with the rebound. Gerry Blake pushes into the lane. Count it. And
a lot of help from a lot of other teams for them to be considered at this point.
Gerry Blake's the steal, attacks, and finishes.
Fadeaway 2, a little too strong by Kuzma.
I tell you what, the officials have done a phenomenal job of calling this game right. They've reffed the game. They haven't reffed the score.
That consistency and that positive attitude is one of the reasons why they turn things around. Missed 3 by Hamilton, and now here comes ASU. With 5 minutes to go, down 1. Into the lane, the finger roll. It's good for Blakes and the Sunday.
Willingness to take big shots. And it hasn't been every night, but I get the feeling, especially when looking at that game the other night, Washington State, now tonight as he scores again.
Giveaway. That's turnover number 8 on the Sun Devils. Irebu trying to cash in. Jacobson got back. Look out here. Gerry Blakes with Q Johnson chasing. Uses the on ball to shake McKissick along to Devontae Lacey now.
If I'm Devontae Lacey, I'm going right back to that. Because Eric Jacobson is not hedging on that screen. Therefore, that jump shot will be available.
First trip to the line tonight for Ike Irebu. It's the front end. Gilling able to save it. ASU trails by 5. Blake's crossing over. Gets right to the right. Free throw out coming for Q Johnson. Falls off. Gerry Blakes. He's been the man of the night for the Sun Devils. Trying to take the called the Ernie Kent effect. In his first year in Pullman, the Cougs have exceeded their win total from a season ago.
Livesay fires. Too strong on a 3. And the rebound, Bo Barnes. Here come the Devils. Gerry Blake spots up. Rattles it in.
It's Randall racing justice, and he wins.
Creating offense from your defense. Stanford has done a good job of that at times tonight. Arizona State's got to take care of the ball, as you see.
The Flame. Brown the step back. Alas, an actual miss by the Cardinal.
A trip down the floor that came up empty-handed. Haven't been many of those.
Travis tried to throw that through a bunch of Sun Devils, didn't make it. And a setup for Blakes. And Blakes gets the Sun Devils up and away for his team. Oh, a lot of dribbling there, and Wallace got picked. Blakes going in. Well, this is
Eli Stolzer again. Rattles out a 3, and the rebound, Trey Holder, ASU.
And he's had 2 good looks, almost, both of those almost go in.
Gerry Blake gives Arizona State the lead.
Basketball right now. Anybody that has any type of NBA potential, they're leaving school early. Shouldn't be that way, but it is what it is.
Blake's fouled hard from behind.
10 to shoot. Alley-oop try. Broke it up. Setting eyes there on Victor Robbins. Quickly in transition. Blake's hang time. Floater. And splash.
Again, and Saunders showing you the floater, mid-range, and everything else.
He can really score.
Blake quickly at the other end answer.
He finishes the play.
Howard off the back of the iron. Here comes ASU again. Barnes out front in the corner. Blakes wants it. Blakes drains it. Detroit.
And there's the help. Numbers 3-on-1. Wilson. And the alley-oop.
That was
Tech Anderson was missed inside. A big break for the Sun Devils. That's 3. How about that 5-point swing? Fella could run the floor for Rick Barnes. Into in. Carlino can't connect. Jacobson the rebound. Quick outlet. Blake's in traffic. And that'll be a block. And collected by guess who? Dwayne Wilson. He's been all over the place tonight. You know he wants to dribble it out.
Pick it up.
That 3 ball goes for Blakes with
Post defense by Blakes. Jacobson, the rejection. Blakes on the drive, the Euro to the glass to lay it up and in. He's got that little Major, the first step, couldn't finish though. Gerry Blake seals it. Steps by Raines and laid it in. There he is again.
CAA. There's Okinobo, the freshman, short arms, a little hook shot over Jacobson, who probably doesn't get enough credit defensively. There's Blakes to the wreck.
0 for 1 from the field today. Not involved in the offense as much, if at all.
Coleman with the miss.
Flip side of it is Arizona State continues to push, and they continue to get good shots. Trying to throw Alabama out of their set, force them to scramble a little bit and take a shot like that, which I don't think very good, although Norris had a chance with the ball and lost it.
So coming out of the timeout, Herb Sendek with a defensive switch. Tough shot by Blakes, which is good. Wow, those glass.
The big guys, you know, that can really play on the perimeter.
You talk about Melo Trimble. How difficult is it? I mean, how many freshmen have you ever just thrown in the fire like that and said, hey, run my team for me?
I've done a couple. Steve Blake did a great job for us with that. And impressive right there. Yeah, you know, he read that pretty well. The defense went underneath and gave him the ring, but you've got to get back on defense. So you can't give up a score after.
3-point line. Payne had Gilling on him, gave it up inside of 10 to shoot. Good help defense there by ASU. And they get out with Blakes. Gerry Blakes wraps it around the left.
Wherever that may be. This is a special, special time. Postseason situations. You don't want to lose. It's win or go home.
And he's shown he's more than just a dunker, although he will be competing in that dunk contest at the Final Four. He said his brothers text him all the time about what he should do. He doesn't even pay attention to that.
I love that. Hey, you can jump. You should do this.
Nice up fake. And Gerry Blakes at Klein gets his 14th point of the night.
I just wish all post players sealed like that. That was a great seal, showing that target hand, got him the ball, and he made an easy layup, kept that ball high.
1-point game. Blakes, tough shot.
State has come back with an answer every single time. The crowd is on their feet. What can they do?
I will say this, a 4-point lead for Richmond feels like 14,
right,
as close as this game's been.
Oh, my gosh.
Blakes, are you kidding?
Another first this season, Roxy, the first administrative technical of the year.
Had to wait to the last Saturday of the regular season. Sun Devils looking for their first lead. Gerry Blakes drives, and he gives it to the Sun Devils.
Ontario averaging almost 14 points a game. Not only that, third on the team in assists from their center. How about that? Nice shot by Blakes.
Watch out behind. Wright gets the pocket picked.
Yeah, no idea Bo Barnes is behind him.
Holder runs out of room. For Barnes, that was some modest revenge on the night for DeLon Wright.
A little soft. They're extremely well coached. They've got to be a top 4 seed, in my opinion.
You have to think so, as Kuzma now has 4 points off the bench.
All that being said, they've got to finish out the season strongly, and they've got to play well in the Pac-12 tournament.
Blake's foot on the line. That's just tough to
take their foot off the gas. You can't. These guys want to impress the coaching staff as well. They want to prove that they belong out there, and they continue to play and play well.
Utah has made its last 9 shots. Down the third point.
Right underneath. I'll tell you what, the fact that USC's not in the bonus with a minute left is a little surprising, but a good job by ASU guarding without fouling and holding them to a low percentage.
Blakes.
Good D.
Yes. Nice.
And 2 guys scoring right now. Andrews for Washington, who's 25 feet from the basket. Nobody gave him the ball. And at this end, Arizona State all of a sudden ignoring Gerry Blakes. And he's coming around underneath. Now they're going to hand it to Blakes at the top. Look at Sendek at the top telling everybody move. Look like a bus stop. 5 guys standing around.
Washington still switching all ball screens and handoffs.
Blakes is in attack mode. Give him the ball, man. Camp dropping the shoulders, dropping that back step. Got himself within 2 feet.
A smart play by Washington. Jacobson's got 4. He comes back at 4 fouls. He comes back in the game. They went right at him, but couldn't get the bucket or the foul.
Six minutes to play. There's Blakes. He's just got the green light. And how easy was...
So 4 minutes in. Q Johnson, the first substitute for the Cougs. He comes to get Dexter Kernick-Drew. And defends Gerry Blakes. A little shake and pull. Here's Blakes working on Kernick-Drew. And
weeks ago, not bad at all. Able to put the ball on the floor 1 or 2 times and go right into that jumper.
People are always talking about McConnell. He does everything so well. Blake's good kick out. But there was the knock-ons. Well, sometimes he's got to be able to take over games offensively. I feel like he's done that when he's needed to. Look at the Utah game earlier this year.
Yeah, and if he makes it to the next level, he doesn't have to do that. He'll have teammates that can do it for him.
They had just 47 points for the game. They have 38 here in the first half as Barnes keeps it alive on the offensive end.
Gilling will continue to keep shooting it as he should. That's what he does.
Barnes cut off.
Arizona State moves very smartly. When the person drives, they fill in behind. They go to the corners so they can get kickouts.
Gerry Blakes looking for contact, and he gets it.
Out with those 2 fouls.
Roosevelt Scott on the floor. There's a drive. Left hand finish. What a chance.
Ball game. Shot very efficiently from the field. That rotation is terrific on his jump shot. Better shooter than I anticipated.
Use making the play.
All right, so Dylan Brooks has 2 fouls.
Brooks is critical for, he's the one guy that's been a pretty steady scorer for Oregon over the year.
I love your point about the mid-range shot because we've seen it even at the professional level where that shot oftentimes is gone.
There, as we speak, on
may not be on his. All of a sudden, you've got 3 very viable options. Look how they close out and shadow. There's the challenge. Even if it goes down, right there. Give it the. Ooh, I would have brought it up funny to kiss it. Get away from this guy. You can rag a guy like that. It helps everybody else. The wings, the forwards, the deny. Deeper catches on the floor.
Blake. And a foul. Now, Jack fires.
Nice play by Barnes.
And a new shot clock. Gerry Blakes. To the basket. And fouled by Rondae Hollis-Jefferson.
The point is Arizona State's got to find a way to challenge in the paint without putting Harvard on the line. Harvard is 72% free throw shooting team. Couldn't tell by those 2, but the rest of the guys, I think, can shoot foul shots pretty well.
Let's say Okoli is probably not going to the line all that often. Nice final attack.
30 years. I'd say he knows the definition of toughness. China with a team back in August to get some extra playing experience. Oh my goodness.
You know, we heard a double-double already. 10 points and 7 boards. Here's Bo Barnes. Justice turns, swings to Blakes. Here he comes to the rim. No one home defensively.
Long off the back of the rim. Jacobson wanted it up front. Instead, how about that? Gerry.
Career high's 29, so you know he can light it up. His buddies have been kind of working hard early. Let's see if maybe he can make a spark in the second half.
ASU leads it by 6. Holder penetrates. Last minute decision as he gave it back out. One step, changed his mind. You know what?
And Alabama with 14-7 lead. And a little full court pressure by the Tide. They've dialed up a little bit of heat here on the Sun Devils.
Well, they realize that they are susceptible. Sun Devils are susceptible to their kind of pressure.
Different team this year for Arizona State without Carson in terms of ball handling anyway.
Well, you got freshman point guards, you got junior college transfers, but Blake's is a guy.
Nice drive, but Nickens couldn't finish.
And it looked like Jacobson certainly might have changed that shot just a bit with that length.
Arizona offensively going to be a little bit different this year without Carson running the point.
Edwards got to be careful. Can't pick up his dribble that soon. Slows the offense down. But I was going to say, Arizona State likes to run. They like to push it, but they don't mind in the half court taking their time.
Tell you what, Gerry
is the go-to play for Maryland, as they got both Des Wells and Jake Lehman kind of off the schneid by getting them down low, isolating in the post-up.
Nice drive, and boy, Blake's really aggressive tonight.
Line comes up empty on both free throws. ASU a chance to get back on top. Holder trying to find a mismatch in the matchup zone. 8 to shoot.
They got the mismatch, but they just converged so well on the dribble drive.
Deep three from Blakes, knocks it down.
Something I said, points and rebounding. Arizona State's got to dominate in that department. They did a good job in terms of points in the paint. But I think Richmond did a good job as well. They got
3 months in jail, gets out of prison. His best friend is shot and killed. His mother's in a domestic dispute with his stepfather. She leaves Seattle, where he had called home, ends up living with a friend. They get evicted from their apartment. He's trying to pay to go to junior college because he's on probation and can't leave town. Ends up sleeping in his car, fights his way through all of that, and gets a scholarship to go play at Arizona State.
I'll tell you what, though, as a player, I wouldn't want 8 days off this time of year. That's too long.
David Travis missing. Arizona State by 6. Devils at 49% shooting for the game. 53 here in the second half. And Gerry Blake's with the bucket.
Is that the
point game?
He's been doing that all year. Unfortunately for Cal, I haven't seen enough of it here today. Let's see if he tries to take over here the last 4.5.
Gerry Blake's into the key. Blake's
was 6 inches bigger than everybody.
They've got to go through him. I think you're right, K.O.
Right now, they're back to the zone, too. You called that, KB.
It just was working. I didn't see a reason to get out of it.
Johnny must have heard you. He's back in it.
Oh, yeah, he's going to listen to me. Let's listen to the guy who calls an occasional college hoop game on Fox Sports 1. Here's Blake's. Drives. Let go. How did that happen?
Wondering that very thing. Marchetti.
Well, for a guy like Marchetti, bigger opportunity tonight. Somebody's got to get Reinhardt's minutes. He plays a lot of minutes, just under 30 minutes a game.
And Reinhardt's shots.
That's what I'd be looking for, Ted. You know that, taking up his shots.
Follow. So Jacobs took it to the glass and thought he'd have help, and he did with Malik Martin.
Here's what you have to love, and we wondered about it to start this game. I mean, USC is playing with a ton of energy. And this late in the season hasn't gone great. You're missing players tonight, but they are still playing hard. Better at not creating so much contact so that he's in foul trouble.
Blake's pushing. Gilling let Dukes fly by, but did not pull the trigger. Blake's does.
That's his
and they couldn't beat a double team.
And this is one of the things that UCLA's really worked on here. Going to the basket with their big guys. Early on in the season, their guards were just jacking up ill-advised three-point shots. But when you go to Parker, to Looney, you bring Welsh and Goulamon off the bench, you've got a real chance against most anybody.
Well, Steve Alford told us at Shooter-On today that he thinks they're a different team now, and in part because they go inside out. Early in the year, they were really outside in. Here's a three-pointer. Gerry Blake's.
Oklahoma, which at that time you thought they were for sure going to be an NCAA tournament team, undefeated. But you're right. Since that Stony Brook game, it has been up and down and more down, to say the least.
San Diego State was 13th, Oklahoma was 15th. They held San Diego
to protect the paint, but rebound their own defensive board.
I understand they're undersized, but you got to get a body on people. Splash.
And off a made free throw, are you kidding me?
It's too easy. Long shot is missed by Quevin Winters. Just came in during the timeout. Back to the top, Holder. Holder's lost his rhythm in this game. There's Blakes. How do you leave him alone?
Wow.
Boy, how bad did they need that?
Badly.
He's got 19.
But again, Waddy, it's not on the offensive end for Washington today. It's about the defensive end and getting stops. And that's
half coming on strong here in the second.
You talk about Ernie Kent infusing his players with confidence. How much confidence does it give a player who knows he's struggling all game long to have your coach want to play specifically for you at this crucial moment in the game?
He's got 6 points, 9 rebounds. McKissick,
good
extra pass. Gerry.
Maybe you work it for a few more seconds to get a better look. That's a good look for him.
Off the baseline under, they needed it. Holder, another chance. Got caught up in the air. ASU got traps all over the floor. McKissick, cross court, Gerry Blake's.
Arizona State lead, 4.5 to go.
See, he wants to step up and take the big shots for Arizona State. Getting these pressure situations, guys' arms start to shrink up a little bit.
And in the hands of the freshman point guard, by the way. Holder. Kicks it out. Blakes for three. Biggie!
That's a huge shot.
I still can't decide, Roxy. What do you think? Which is a tougher trip, the mountain trip or this trip?
I think because of the flights
and the
altitude and the travel, the distance between Utah and Colorado, that to me is the most difficult trip.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Gerry Blake's to the basket. Vivier have combined for 25 of Oregon State's 31.
Well, you got the two starting post guys with three starters still with just 1 point amongst them. Still staying in that 1-3-1 zone right here, trying to shake it up a little bit.
Gerry Blake's dives, keeps it alive. Open is Bo Barnes, doesn't shoot it.
Thought he might have pulled the trigger on that one.
Savon Goodman, the kick. Blakes gets Payton to fly by. Foul. With the ball inside 5 minutes to play, leading it by 19.
Oregon State, almost regardless of what they do at this point, Roxy, have run out of time. There's not much they could do, even though they've gotten some turnovers.
Season, but kind of regression toward the mean. It's all averaged out now.
Gerry Blake's missing a three. Shaq McKissick the offensive rebound. Blake's again. Three for ASU.
As Delano Wright buries another three. Anwat's really the only guy of impact to average about 5 points a game to leave Utah from a season ago.
Yeah.
Cattle to the three.
Remember, the curtain of distractions is only a second half thing.
Detroit's on a little mini 10-0 run. All the way, he grabbed the top of his head, and he still put it.
Them every time. They're zone on the out of bounds now. 2 out of 9 from the floor for Arizona State with 6 turnovers. Blake's right on. They tell you what.
They were 16-1 a year ago at home. Among those 13 consecutive wins, a double overtime win against Arizona, wins against Utah, Colorado, and Oregon. Pretty impressive. The Waves trying to break that up right now. The lefty Blakes rips in a three.
Here with ASU in the Pac-10.
Earned his stripes at one time, an assistant with Rick Barnes at Providence. Taking over as head coach with Miami at the age of 30. Here's Gilling in the corner, outside the Blakes, into the lane, to the glass, laid it up and in. He covered a lot of ground.
His go-to guys had 2 good looks at the basket, just hadn't been able to knock him down.
2 buckets for ASU. They've both been triples.
And how about this? I immediately talk about them being a man-to-man type team, Texas A&M. This time down the floor, they play a 2-3 zone.
They're able to. Caruso open on the back door.
Nice job. The defense overplayed on the top. They didn't want him to get off the shot, so he cuts baseline. No help. Knocks that ball out of bounds.
Good coaching on both sides as A&M has changed up its defense out of the timeout as well.
Well, what they're trying to do is extend their defense. It looks like a 1-2-2, but it's an extended 2-3.
Oh, and that is
kind of falling away into the baseline. Gets it to go down. Good start for UNLV.
Kendrick, a senior, their leading returning scorer from last season, only averaged about 6 points per game. As UNLV jumps out to the early lead. Here's Eric Jacobson, among the most improved big men in the Pac-12 conference. Dribble drive to the rim. Excellent drive and fail.
That's the local kid. Did he play football for Chaparral? Because that was beautiful. A nice pass from the baseline. Saw his man and floated it up.
Tough to find out if he played on Friday nights. We do know this. Gerry
about 30% from the line, so much better from the field.
Rowe with 8 points. Luke playing in his 99th career game. Jacobson gives it up to McKissick. Swings it all the way around. 4-3. Gerry
fallen into the lane, into the center of the lane. That's, you know, he has played really well. A guy that averages 7 a game. Look for him to have some bigger nights this year.
Matches his career high. He had 18 points earlier this year against James Madison. He has just matched his career high in McMullen, Matt McMullen. And it's a 6-point Sun Devil lead. And it's fun watching Holder get his feet under him. Wow, an athletic play by
Such was all about.
Yeah, they were pretty lathered up and making a lot of noise. 8 on the shot clock. Taylor, poor pass inside, picked off by Jacobson. And here comes Cody Justice getting the start at point. Gerry Blake's got off to a great start for Arizona State last night. There's Blake's the JUCO transfer with a nice show and go into the paint. And off to a good start again, Lenny.
Well, I got puts it on the floor and he gets to the basket. I'm just wondering when somebody's going to wake up to that, start getting on that left hand, forcing them right.
Off the Hale miss, back comes Arizona State. Jacobson with a nice post up inside. And Lenny, I know you feel for the big fella. They haven't really looked at him much down there. Blake's, though, knocked it down.
Well, as long as
straightaway look by Norris, and Norris still cold. Under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Blake's. Barnes.
Tell you what, Barnes not getting the open looks that he got against Maryland yesterday. As Alabama doing a nice job of shadowing him. Obviously, as I said, they watched the tape. They saw what they needed to game plan.
Herb Sendek mentioned to us coming into the game for his crew, Len, was rebounding and Maryland's three-point shooting.
Well, so far, this team has extended their defense and done a terrific job.
And Blake's knocking one down.
Getting a hand.
14 is up on that scoreboard. 12 is their best. They've done it 3 times in the past, allowing just 12 points. They're up by 16, though. And Herb Sendek has unloaded the bench. Opportunities have been there. Stepping in, dish back out. And a 3. Boy, that was a pretty look. Gerry Blake's.
For Kendall Anthony, averaging 18 points a game his last 5.
There's a lot of people out there wondering how he even gets shots off. Well, good luck covering him. crafty player. He's done a lot in his career, especially when it comes to shooting three-point baskets.
Save on Goodman, 2 feet in the paint, and he ties it up at 2.
It's a foul, but it doesn't affect the play. Doesn't give anyone an advantage. Play on.
Blakes leaves it. Jacobson, he's got 2.
Years you talked about with the knee problem. Omar Calhoun in double figures 6 times this year, but only once in the last 17 games for UConn. So he has not scored much. That shot, though, a big one. And we're tied. Now how does Arizona State respond after the timeout? Gerry Blakes to the corner. It's McKissick. They responded pretty well.
Might be there later in the studio.
Love to see that. I want him to do a remote broadcast from the curtain of distraction. Here's Goodman up top for the two-hand jam.
They weren't even guarding Sam Singer. They were just in the lane.
They were daring
clogging
him to
it up.
shoot it.
They were daring him to shoot it. And so now he's gotten to a point where they have to guard him, and that's made the Cal offense better.
Cal 3 of 3 at the line, and the worst team free throw percentage in the league. Cal at 65%, and they're 342nd in the country out of 351 teams.
And a big reason that is why.
McKissick a 3.
But let's get to the rim.
Wallace to the rim. Missing the reverse. Gerry Blakes clears. Long outlet for Goodman. He attacks. Singer has it stripped. McKissick. Foul and
Can he be an NBA player?
He's got skill. Bulk wise.
Arizona State has turned it over each of their last 3 possessions.
Nobody can convince me Chase Hernandez 100% healthy.
He just doesn't look right. He doesn't look like a player that we used to see.
I feel bad for him because he's a great kid.
McKissick, he's had a great.
You see him out there knocking down nice shots. Trey Holder with the steal. And the Sun Devils look to run. Jonathan Gilling, a 3, outstanding ball.
Leverage for 3. Blake's pushing to Bo Barnes. Last time he got blocked by Wright. This time,
And you couldn't answer the question.
I got asked that again today. I'm interested in what's next in my life. I'm interested in today. And
yeah, we're still talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, and did you read his Time magazine?
Blakes with a great pass. Goodman is now 7.
So you agree that it's a mental game?
Yeah, definitely.
See, Dave thinks it's just about jumping.
No.
Pass.
Don't agree with him, please. A lot of those guys don't make it. There you go.
Barnes hits a 3.
Into the corner to Williams-Goss, goes baseline, gets cut off, and turns it over. Arizona State transition. That's a nice give up. And Shaquille McKissick.
Washington. Is that by design? A lot of coaches nowadays aren't sending as many people to the offensive board so that they can get their defense set on the other end. Down the middle, Williams-Goss puts it right up where Kemp Jr. can handle it, and he finishes.
64 all. Blakes kick to the corner. McKissick.
Love it.
Again, off the Jacobson screen. Irebu spins off of him and turned it over. Jacobson got it.
Because that's a big game. Typically in this conference, when you play Arizona, you get up for that game. It's a big game. And Utah has become that. And so you expect that to be the mindset for Randall. But credit Utah. Probably the best defensive, cohesive defensive unit in the Pac-12.
Mark, granted, Colorado is struggling. They lost at home to Cal last night.
With Holder has his best first half of the year. 10 points, moving the ball around. Coming off a game where he had his career high in 16, only a freshman. Blakes. Goodman inside, gets it to go.
Goodman does a great job establishing position.
The player, you do not like this. You get charged up, ready to go in the rhythm of the game, and it starts like this. Let's see if it affects either team.
Home whites for Arizona State, and the green for the Oregon Ducks.
It'll be interesting on the other side to see how Gilling responds. This is only the second time he started all year. Will he have the same impact with these starters as he does coming off the bench?
Shaq McKissick strokes a three.
Benjamin getting into the act with a three of his own.
Second three for Dwayne Benjamin, the fifth lead change. McKissick again. Whoa, 5 threes.
We've seen thus far this season.
Tied at 10. Jonathan Gilling lines it up from the corner.
They shot the ball very well.
Morris Walker to the basket. Left it short. The rebound, Jerry Blakes. Here come the Sun Devils. Bo Barnes fires.
There you go. Yep.
And a steal by Shaq McKissick. 3-on-2.
Got numbers. Good spacing in the corner. Good spacing in the corner.
Jonathan Gilling wide open, sticks a three.
Active head coach with 400 career wins behind Billy Donovan and Steve Alford. So some elite company, at least in that statistic. Jason Randall picking up that last foul, by the way, in that last.
Wallace right in, switches it to the left. He just cannot finish a shot tonight. Well, it's unfortunate because he's been right there. And Justice drains it. I think Cal's going to be in a little bit of better rhythm. Again, defensively, Cal's going to try to get out there and try to force some more turnovers. Arizona State, 2 turnovers in the first half. Now they're really struggling to take care of the ball. And Goodman didn't score for me.
Hashtag 12 best. Absolutely. I mean, that was a scoop shot with the offhand. Jacobson clears inside, but it was at the offhand.
Under 30 seconds. Pull up Temper Goodman. Controlled by the Sun Devils. Corner three. Roosevelt Scott, the crossover. Scott has not been a big scorer this year for the Sun Devils, but so athletic, and he's able to do just that. The showdown coming in Tucson this weekend, Saturday. Arizona versus Utah.
To do what you want offensively.
Morris Walker kicks out to nobody. Scooped up there in transition. Shaq McKissick. Monster floods the game. He's been in double digits the last 4. That set tonight. Shot at only 3. Bo Barnes, the other corner. And he's very
creative. But the big fella moving large. Get those puppies organized and drills it.
Had a terrible foot injury last year. Missed the NCAA tournament. But the foot, he had surgery, fully healed, and he's playing well this season. Shaq McKissick.
How about that?
Front of the iron, and an easy rebound by Goodman.
It would do Arizona State some good as well to get the tempo going. I know Harvard likes to run, and they're pretty good, but Arizona State, I don't think can have a tremendous amount of success if they're playing in the half court all the time.
Pretty good catch by Jacobson, and better defense down in the low post by Harvard.
They're covering everything right now, Harvard.
Throwing a lot of moves, but roll coverage. Jonah Travis just in the game, number 24 for Harvard with the easy score. Does Goodman have 15 to 18 foot range? He looked hesitant there.
Haven't seen it.
Good little bump off that time.
In the program this year.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, again, save for that one game, surprised by the results. Here comes Blake. On the lob. Beautiful connection. Save on.
Detroit still has not scored in this second half.
He waited for it, and he took advantage.
The miss, the rebound, the great afternoon continues out front. There's Barnes cashing
there for the game against them. Here's a quick trigger, and Jerry Blakes with a recovery. Finds McKissick trailing for 3 in the corner, and he knocks it down. Shot is off. And again, Sun Devils trying to get down and get into the paint, but they can't. Lehigh is quick to get there, but it leaves a trailer open.
Anderson using his derriere to get closer. Wilson, not there. McKissick, the rebound. It's not his game. Holder on Carlino.
They got Jacobson. It's taking a long time to get it in there.
And the youngster from Chandler, Arizona. Tough. Gets it done just as you get better at the stripe.
I go inside against Fisher. See if you can get him another foul. He's dominating.
He's normally a decent free throw shooter. But as a team, Marquette has struggled at the line. There's the pop out to the three ball that you want.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You'll basically see Texas A&M play man-to-man. Occasionally they will change it up to try to throw you off balance, but they will extend well past the three-point line.
Kick out. Jump shot.
The basket.
Blake's back in there for ASU. Peyton Allen, number 22, talented freshman in there.
No, I could say as a player, I didn't necessarily agree with the officials much anyway.
Like any.
This is usually...
Wow. Problems. That's forced Justice back to the bench. And Trey Holder, the lightning quick point guard for ASU, back in there. Gilling back in there for Arizona State as well. Uh-oh.
How does that guy get over? They've gotten better in their time at Arizona State.
Well, Sendek certainly has that track record of developing guys that you just mentioned. And what a run he's had here tonight, going over his 400th career win. That's a friendly bounce for the
today that did not get called.
Lob shot.
And still 8, still within distance.
Started over. Good rebound. Great reset. Jacobson's got 5 boards to go along with 6 points. Gilling. Money.
I love that play right there.
Time going off. And then that is Alabama's first bucket in a long, long time. Riley Norris breaks a long scoring drought.
And that was probably the most confident move we've seen Norris make in the 2 nights of this book.
And one as Jacobson punched. And we are knotted at 51 with about 6.5 minutes to go.
I mean, Alabama with a different version of full court pressure, playing full court man right now.
Justice.
I like the way Justice explored the defense, didn't have numbers or an opportunity, so he brought it back out.
Blakes to McKissick. 13 on the shot clock for Blakes. Tough move inside and one by Gilling. Get on track, left it short. Nice rebound and stick back by Dodd. Couldn't get it the second time, and back come the Sun Devils.
And there's Blakes again. He's just doing yeoman's work on both ends of the floor.
Blake's already with 14 points. Oh, Barnes knocking down his first 3 balls.
Got 21 shot attempts versus Arizona State's 12, but the problem is both Maryland and Arizona State have 9 field goals. So Maryland got to take advantage of the opportunities presented to them. 5 Arizona State turnovers.
Wiley wide open for 3. A little bit off and rebounded by Barnes. Chance to come within. You gotta make it 3.
Humphrey's able to keep it alive. And a rebound to Holder.
Been no stoppage in play yet. Guys are sucking wind.
McKissick. They gave him room to take the 3.
College. Oh, by the way, averaged over 20 points once he got there in community college, Edmonds Community College. And family comes first for him. I know he made you mention some family members and asked if you would, but he is just a guy that has certainly grown. And for me, a guy like that's just a huge asset to your program. Gilling for 3 from the corner.
That's what happened to me. Yeah, and you made up the lost time and you got close enough. That's why my brother